everyone. How are you? It is nice to see you. Welcome. Hi. Okay, so I'm just getting started and we're just gonna wait for some people to come in. Okay, how are you guys? I'm just answering somebody's text on our group chat on Telegram. Just waiting for everybody to come on in. How are you doing? It is so nice to see you. We kind of have a heavy topic today. You guys know anything about Munchausen syndrome? Well, we're going to be talking about that today. So how you doing? All right. So I think I'm all settled in. How are you guys? Grab your drink of choice. I'm drinking green tea here. Grab a comfy seat and let's go for a ride. Let's talk about understanding Munchausen syndrome and its association with narcissism. Ooh, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Welcome and thank you everyone for joining me in this deep dive into another fascinating video, yet troubling subject. Munchausen syndrome and its connection to narcissistic traits. Is there a correlation? What's up with Munchausen? What is it? And can it be stopped? Is there a cure? Well, we're going to talk in this hour, give or take an hour or so. We are going to unravel the layers of these psychological conditions. We're going to explore the overlapping characteristics and examine how they manifest in relationships in everyday life. Now, if you've ever wondered how these disorders operate or how to recognize their impact, you're going to want to sit down for this video and watch until the end. So let's just start by breaking it down. What is Munchausen syndrome? Let's get in close. Oh, that was a bumpy ride, wasn't it? That was kind of weird. I pulled in my table a little bit closer and it just skipped along the floor. Ooh, yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? Sorry about that. Before we get into this video, I'd like to first introduce myself. Okay, I just noticed that, whenever I move, the backlight just kind of shines in your eyes, and that might be annoying. So that might be better. How's that? Is that better? All right. So let me first introduce myself. Hi, my name is Shannon Gilmore, and welcome to the party. Welcome to this video channel. Welcome to Positively Spiritual. This is your spiritual guidance healing hub for all things that make narcissistic abuse relatable to the Bible. I mean, the Bible doesn't talk about narcissistic abuse, doesn't label it, but does call out the behavior. And so on this channel, we line up the spiritual aspects, we line up the psychological and scientific aspects of narcissistic trauma and the abuse to aid in your emotional recovery. I am your host again, Shannon Gilmore. I am the host of Peer Support. I am your peer support mentor and host on Positively Spiritual. And I'm also an author, helping you to navigate your way through troubled waters in your life. What kind of things do I write about? I write about from a personal perspective and a biblical and psychological perspective. I've written books on the supernatural. I've written a book on eating and health. I've written books on Bible study Yeah, so and I've got a lot of books, just ebooks, ebook content written to help you unpack narcissism and how to heal from it. These are spiritual aspects that I share with you as I've personally implemented them. So you can go to the link in the description of this video to find your online downloadable library portal where you can find insight on how to heal from trauma using self-help healing modalities such as practicing impermanence, radical acceptance, self-love, forgiveness by learning the depths of God's grace and his love for you. This link will take you to my Ko-Fi channel or Ko-Fi channel, however, Ko-Fi, coffee, however you want to pronounce it. It's like a blog with pages for you to look through. And you can look at my downloadable library as there's free and paid content. Just click on shop or click on membership if you want to download a boatload of biblical content. If Bible study is your forte, you can download Bible study content because this channel is what we do. We unpack the Bible. We meet here also every Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern time for a Bible study that you won't want to miss. We delve into the spiritual roots of God's word and unpack God's intended meaning with insight, history, and discussion that are guaranteed to draw you deeper and closer to Jesus. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in our Bible study. If you are looking for one-on-one help through direct membership and guidance, you can set up a mentorship session with me and we can meet for an hour. This is your opportunity to get what you need to say off your chest. You can ask me questions. You can spill the tea about your life, and together we can find a way to help you put one foot in front of the other. So with that said, I invite you to take a look at the links in the description of this video. And if there's something that fits your needs, by all means, you are welcome to download, print it off, make it your own, take what you can, throw away the rest, or offer me insight and positive or negative feedback. It really doesn't matter. But let me know what you think so I can help you find help and hope and healing in a way that best suits you. We're here to help each other, so let's do this. Now, on with this video. There's enough people in this chat now. So, hi everyone, how you doing? It's nice to see you. So what is Munchausen syndrome? Well, it's now clinically referred to as factitious disorder imposed on self. It is a psychological condition where individuals deliberately fabricate, exaggerate, or induce symptoms of illness on themselves. The primary motivation, it seems to be attention, care, and validation from others. It's important to note that this isn't malingering, meaning where this isn't where someone fakes illness for tangible rewards like money or to avoid going to work. Munchausen syndrome is extremely dangerous and serious, as it's about fulfilling emotional needs through the care and sympathy of others. So there's also a related condition that you probably have heard of as well, called Munchausen syndrome by proxy, or MSBP, or now called factitious disorder imposed on another. In MSP or BP, the individual causes or fabricates symptoms in someone else, often a child, to gain attention by proxy. And let's be clear here. When somebody is creating illness in another, this is serious. Like these symptoms these children show most often are life-threatening and lead to death. This is incredibly damaging behavior that can result in physical harm and long-term psychological trauma for the victim. So let's outline some of the core traits that define Munchausen syndrome. Number one, it's deceptive behavior. Individuals may go to extreme lengths to create the illusion of illness, faking test results, self-inflicting harm, or even tampering with medical treatments. Number 2, it's attention seeking. The goal is to be the center of attention, especially from authority figures like doctors or caregivers. Number 3, emotional dysregulation. Often individuals with Munchausen syndrome struggle with feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, and intense need to feel significant. Hi Zabe, hi Resistor, hi VK, how you all doing? It's nice to see you. Hi everyone, it's nice to see you. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I hope you guys get something out of this. We've talked about this before on this channel a few years back, and you know, I just wanted to see if there's anything new, because the more the studies show, it seems like narcissism and Munchausen have nothing to do with each other. Hi, Sophia, but yet they do. So I find this Munchausen very disturbing, and I think there's a lot of confusion around this topic, and I think it needs to be brought to our attention more. So this study brings us to an intriguing question. How does Munchausen correlate to narcissism? Yeah, narcissism. Let's talk properly. All right, before we connect the dots, let's briefly revisit what narcissism is. Okay, you guys already know, but let's just humor me, okay? Narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, is characterized by this: a grandiose sense of self-importance, a need for excessive admiration, a lack of empathy, exploitative relationships for personal gain. At the core of narcissism lies a fragile ego. Despite their outward confidence, narcissists often rely on external validation to maintain their self-image. This constant craving for attention or narcissistic supply creates a dynamic that bears some similarities to the motivations behind Munchausen syndrome. Here's the overlap. While Munchausen syndrome and NPD are distinct disorders in themselves, they share overlapping characteristics. So let's explore these. Hi, Aquarius, nice to see you. Number 1, the need for admiration. Both conditions are driven by a desire for attention, though the type of attention is what differs. Narcissists seek admiration and validation to inflate their ego, while individuals with Munchausen syndrome crave sympathy and care. In both cases, the individual's self-worth is heavily dependent on external validation. Number 2, manipulative behavior. Manipulation is the key figure in both of these disorders. Narcissists manipulate others to maintain control and secure admiration. Similarly, those with Munchausen syndrome manipulate doctors, caregivers, and loved ones through deceitful behaviors to elicit care and concern. Number 3, there's this underlying emotional pain that is not addressed. Both disorders often stem from early trauma, as psychologists say that even narcissism is a trauma-based disorder. Now, both of these coincide with the feelings of inadequacy. Narcissists develop a false self to mask their insecurities, while individuals who suffer from Munchausen syndrome create illness narratives to meet their own emotional needs. Number 4, control and power. In Munchausen syndrome by proxy, we see a striking parallel to narcissistic parenting. The perpetrator exerts control by fabricating or inducing illness in someone else, often a child, and this mirrors the control dynamics of narcissistic parents who manipulate their children to meet their emotional needs without regard for the child's well-being. This, I gotta pause for a second, because as I was writing this morning, I was thinking about my own childhood circumstance with my foster mom. Now, I'm not going to accuse, I can't accuse my foster mother of Munchausen, but there's I think there's fine frickin' line. Something was going on, because she was a smoker and she smoked in the house, and oftentimes a person who is dealing with childhood stress develops issues like asthma or lung disease or high blood pressure or the risk of heart attack and stroke. And as a child, science now knows that childhood illnesses often have a correlation to childhood trauma. And back 50 years ago, when I was 7 years old in this foster home, I was always coughing, dealing with asthma, having asthma attacks that would send me into the hospital. It's not fun knowing that you cannot breathe and you feel like you're suffocating. It's like somebody's putting a pillow over your face, but there's no pillow there. And it's coming from here, and you can feel it in your chest that your lungs are just seizing up, and those little holes are just, closing in on you. Like, it's like it's like your lungs are suffering from claustrophobia. It's like, but it's real because the walls of your lungs are closing in on itself. It's really traumatic. But my foster mom would sit across the table at dinner time, or when we ate lunch, on the weekends, breakfast, lunch, and supper. We'd all sit at the family table together. And probably that's why I don't like sitting at the table. I hate it. It disturbs me. Because she would always stare at me, and she would smoke after her meal, and she'd blow her smoke right at me. And that would cause asthma attacks. And I was hepped up on medication left, right, and center. The medication caused skin rashes. So I'm just like, I'm going over this, and I'm like, really? I don't know. I would have to look into this, but I have my suspicions that it may have had something to do with money. I don't know, but devious. But was it Munchausen? Look at me, was it Munchausen by proxy? I have no freaking idea, but I was always in the doctor's office, always in the hospital. And I remember the specialist, Dr. Freegang, that was his name, he would give my mother heck, because he'd tell her, stop smoking, get rid of the cat. And I even had that testing done on your back for what you're allergic to. They scrape your back, and they put little tinctures in your back to see what you were allergic to. I wasn't allergic to anything. Not even pollen, not even bees, nothing. And so I was on a strict diet of no milk products, not even chocolate. So yeah, so that's just a sideline note that, you might want to go back into, if you're wondering, I've talked to a few of you who have told me some stories about the history with your parents, and it's not good. So I think this needs to be talked more about, because our children are in danger, from something very serious here. So in Munchausen, again, we see a striking parallel to narcissistic parenting. The perpetrator exerts control by fabricating or inducing illness in someone else, often a child. This mirrors the control dynamics of narcissistic parents who manipulate their children to meet their emotional needs without regard for the child's well-being. Something else just came to mind, but I'm going to keep that secret. There was a family secret in my foster family's house. Okay. Wow. Never put two and two together until now. Okay, it's coming clear. Thank you, Lord. I'm over it. I'm not mad. I'm thankful I'm alive. Munchausen syndrome by proxy is a particularly troubling manifestation of this disorder, narcissism. It often involves a parent, typically a mother, who harms or fakes illness in their children to gain attention as a devoted caregiver. The overlap with narcissistic traits here is undeniable. Exploitation of others. Just as narcissists exploit relationships to feeding their ego, MSBP, that's Munchausen syndrome by proxy. It's Munchausen syndrome when it's just the adult individual, but Munchausen syndrome by proxy is when the adult fakes or creates an illness in their child. Okay, and this is done to gain attention and validation. There's a lack of empathy. Both narcissists and Munchausen syndrome by proxy sufferers, perpetrators, show a disregard for the well-being of others, prioritizing their emotional gratification over the harm caused. Hi Ted, how you doing? There's control through chaos. Narcissists often create confusion and instability in relationships to maintain control. Similarly, Munchausen by proxy, these people create medical crises to ensure that all attention is focused on them. Wow. The impact on the victims. The impact of both Munchausen syndrome and narcissistic behavior on victims is devastating. You know this. There's emotional confusion. Victims often struggle to differentiate between genuine care and manipulation. I mean, when you're going through this, you can't see that somebody is out to hurt you. You know, if I could confront my foster mother now. Things are just, my mind is spinning right now. Going a mile a minute in this video. Like I'm thinking of thoughts that, it's like things are being placed together right now. And I'm just like, oh, son of a gun. I was led to believe that, you know, like I knew I was hated, but I didn't realize how much. Wow. Wow. And I want to be careful here because I only have my thoughts and my perspective, and we're allowed to tell our perspective and the way that we see it, but I don't want to falsify evidence. I don't want to spread falsehoods. I'm just going to say that what I'm thinking is interesting, and God knows. So I'm not bitter. No, I'm not bitter. I am not. I refuse to be a bitter woman like how my foster mother was bitter. Oh, wow. I wonder what kind of trauma the person who suffers from Munchausen syndrome, I wonder what kind of trauma that they had. Because heaven forbid she traumatized her own kids. Her kids were never sick like me. I was the singled out one. Wow. Not trying to make myself a victim here. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just putting things together that I never thought of. And frickin' evil is diabolical. Evil is evil. And these people are not human. Like I said, you cannot be human if you set out to harm somebody and deliberately harm them and deliberately abuse them and deliberately set yourself up above them to put that other person in harm's way just for your to gain accolades and attention. There is something deeply wrong with you. You're not freaking human. And that's what we need to realize. Sophia says, Shannon, my sister is this way. Always thinks something is wrong with her. Consistently going to a doctor, but she ignores the family. Wants nothing to do with anyone. Also suffers from depression. Yeah. Well, that would be Gypsy Rose Blanchard, wouldn't it? That girl is freaky. You can see on her the psychopathy, like the psychopathy. Like you can see it in her eyes that there is demons inside of her. She's freaking scary, man. Des says, I am not a doctor. My sister has this with her 3 adult children now. The kids are on medication and disability. Wow. Ted says, trust no man, right? Ted says, maybe there are 5 people in the world who I trust. That's good. That is really good. So see the correlation between the 2 of these, I'll just backtrack because I interrupted this. So there's emotional confusion. So victims who often struggle to differentiate between the genuine care and manipulation between narcissism and Munchausen syndrome, this forms trauma bonds. Both conditions create a cycle of dependency that is difficult to break. Physical and emotional harm in cases of Munchausen syndrome by proxy where kids are involved. The children may suffer serious physical harm. And while victims of narcissistic abuse often experience emotional and psychological trauma, but even the narcissist, they're willing to put someone in physical harm. And they'll gaslight and they'll lie and gaslight, leading you to believe that you're safe. But you've got to have your head on a swivel. You've got to have your wits about you, because the narcissist is not here in your life to keep you safe. They're not watching your back. No. Like, they're the people that if you're drunk, they'll let you have the keys to the car and let you drive. Or they'll drive drunk. They'll drive you, with you in the car, they'll drive drunk. And with your children too. So how do we identify and address these behaviors? Well, when it comes to Munchausen syndrome by proxy and children are involved, most often this goes overlooked because, illness is natural, right? And with so many things going on with GMO in our foods and poisons in our water and air pollutants and this and that chemical and that chemical, I mean, it's really hard. Like, it's hard to look out for somebody while you're looking out for yourself. Like, and if you don't see these people every single day, it's like really hard. But it's important to at least be aware. Educate yourself about the signs of Munchausen and narcissism. Set boundaries. For victims of narcissism, of course, but sometimes if you suspect that a child is being hurt through a parent who suffers from Munchausen, it's your duty of care to maybe tell your family doctor and go from there. Establish clear boundaries with yourself and the individual who suffers from Munchausen and narcissism, or both together. Because somebody who suffers from Munchausen can have narcissistic, and often does have narcissistic tendencies, but a narcissistic personality disordered person doesn't necessarily suffer from Munchausen. So it's important that just research. Do your research. If you suspect, just talk to the authorities. Seek professional help. Go to your family doctor and just ask. And seek medical and legal intervention if you need to. If you're a parent, co-parenting, and the other parent, the woman, you suspect is harming your child medically, then, get receipts, record everything, collect evidence, and take legal and medical intervention. Go to your family doctor, go to the police, go seek a lawyer, go, because if we don't step in when we can, I know we've got to mind our own business. There's a fine line. But if you suspect and your suspicions prove to be correct, then you could be that child's only hope. Now, while Munchausen syndrome and narcissism are complex and challenging disorders, healing and change are possible. For individuals suffering Munchausen, addressing the root cause of their emotional pain through therapy can help find healthier ways to meet the needs. And normally, when the Munchausen is addressed, then the narcissism does go away. Though change is extremely rare. Developing self-awareness and engaging in long-term therapy can lead to some improvement. And normally the children are taken away from the person who suffers from Munchausen. So, yeah, I've talked to some people who have been the victims of their mother who suffered from Munchausen syndrome by proxy, and the pain is deep. The scars are very, very deep, and it takes a lifetime to rebuild self-esteem, but you can do it. So understanding these disorders isn't just about identifying harmful behaviors. It's about empowering yourself and others to navigate these dynamics with clarity and strength. Whether you're dealing with the aftermath of narcissism abuse or trying to make sense of the chaos caused by Munchausen syndrome, remember that healing is a journey. With knowledge, support, and courage, it is possible to move forward. Find a support group. I mean, it's devastating feeling like you don't belong with the narcissist, and it's a whole nother, this is, I can't even, honestly, I cannot even put into words what it must feel like for someone who knows that their mother has harmed them and put their own selves first before the health of their child. Like, this is another level of evil, isn't it? Well, it falls in line with what God says, and I will put enmity between your seed and hers in Genesis. Evil is evil. There's just varying degrees of evil. Like Jesus says, when an evil spirit leaves the house and it goes to arid places and can't find any place to call home, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but it comes back. And if it finds that place that it came from clean, where there's no occupant, like the Holy Spirit, it says, okay, I'm going to bring a party. I don't want to inhabit this person's shell, this meat suit alone. I want company. So what does Jesus say? This evil spirit brings 7 more spirits stronger than it. So it tells you there's varying degrees. Jealousy is rooted in fear, and so is unworthiness. Would you say jealousy is stronger than unworthiness? Yeah, because when you have jealousy, you have rage. Or you have jealousy, you have anger. Or you have unworthiness, you have the weakened state of fear where you're stagnant and you just cower and you're cowardice and you don't do anything. You don't do anything to help yourself. But in jealousy, the jealous person does everything they can do to maintain control, right? So evil is evil. And this is sick, dark, and twisted here. And I'm having no words. Like I'm really seeing my childhood in a different light. And like I said, there is a video on this Munchausen syndrome that I did, I think, a couple of years ago. So you can scour the videos on this channel, but I never thought of it this way. And I just like, wow. Wow, thank God we survived. Thank you, Jesus. We are survivors. So, hi, Joe. How you doing? Nice to see you. You're coming to grips with how evil the world is, Ted. Good. Yeah, me too. I'm right along with you. Like, I just frick. This is just... the things that we see and know, right? Yeah. Yep. So, let me see. Yeah, it's hard to accept, isn't it, how evil this world is, but God says in this end days, the love of most will grow cold. Resistor says, when I found out this crap, I went psychotic for a while. Well, yeah, like you kind of like, just like, this changes the evil, changes the face of humanity. It strips away your thinking of innocence. Like it takes away this innocent nature in you, where God did not like in Hebrew times, Lamentations talks about cannibalism. But before that, in King David's time, the generations were living in love. They were innocent of any negativity and trauma in the way of Munchausen syndrome and narcissistic disorder, whatever you want to call this thing. And, like everybody loved each other. Everybody had the best of intentions for each other, rooted in unconditional love. And so their minds, the Holy Spirit in them, their minds would not even allow them to think about evil. And our minds, we have the Holy Spirit in us, where our minds do not naturally allow us to think about evil, but our eyes see it, and we're like shocked. And this stuff, you can, once you know it, you can't unknow it. You can't unsee it. You can't get rid of it. It's in the back of your mind always. And it's like, it's freaking, it's a thorn. And it does change you. Absolutely it does. And sometimes the stuff that we find out, you're just like, what's the point of knowing anybody? I just want to crawl under a rock and sleep the rest of my life and wake me up when this is all over. Or Jesus, just take me now. I'm done. You know, but we're here to fight this. And how we're fighting this is, you know, allowing ourselves to know what we're capable of knowing and sharing that and being wise and discerning and helping our fellow man. When you see something, you say something, right? Like, now that I know all of this stuff about narcissism, if I, even in public, if I see somebody fighting or whatever, I'll just silently observe. And if I see the man or even the girl, you know, shouting at the guy and being belligerent or whatever, I'll just walk up there. Hey, is everything okay? You know? And they'll just stop and they'll be like, yeah, we're good. Okay, have a nice day. Or like one woman, she was being, you know, his back was to me in the grocery store, and I kind of observed their conversation, and he was getting a little bit mean and rude. So I just walked up there and I said, I can't really reach up there. Can you, because they were in the aisle and I pretended that they were in my way to get something. So I just like, excuse me, could you do me a favor and just grab that off the top shelf for me, please? Thank you so much. I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And everything was fine. You know, because it's just like, oh, you know, you got to mind your own business. But, you know, I was looking at her like just, and she knew what I was doing. So she gave a smile, you know, and, you know, it's like, you see something, you got, or you see something, you got to say something. And, you know, I'll never forget the time where, and I think I've shared this with you guys, that it was my twin daughter's birthday. And I went into the grocery store, and this was, you know, like, 10 years back. And, you know, I kind of knew that this was after I saw my daughters when they were 18, and, you know, time had gone by and I was missing them. I loved seeing them, and I wish I had more time than just a weekend to see with them. But anyways, so it was their birthday, and I'm walking the grocery store, and the ex-husband is in the car waiting for me. And I walk in the grocery store, and I'm going shopping by myself, and there's these twin boys at the checkout. What are the odds? Never saw them there before, and this was a store I frequented pretty often. And they just happened to be on shift when I was there, and I'm just like, oh, I've been here for 5 years shopping here, and this is a first, and it's my daughter's birthday. Oh, okay, snap, ouch. So, and it was bringing back memories because the people, these boys looked like you could tell them apart, but they looked so similar that if you weren't observant, you would think that you're, you know, taking a double, right? And so people were like, just, they were paying attention to that because twins are rare. Like, they are. When you see twins, it's like, ooh, ah. And that's what it was like raising my twins. My son used to say, because everybody would be like, are those twins? And my son would be like, I'm their brother. You know, it's like, pay attention to me too. So it's just bringing back memories. So I went through the checkout, you know, and I'm smiling, and I'm just like looking at the boys, and I'm just like thinking back, and I'm just like, yeah, I know what they're going through. Pain in the ass, being the object of everybody's attention, but they're taking it in stride. Good for them. And I get out of the store, and I lean against the pillar, and I start crying. And I just have a breakdown. And I cry for 5 minutes, dry my eyes, and I proceed to take the cart to, I see the X in the parking lot, so I proceed to go and go to the vehicle. And as I pass this car, the car door opens, and this little voice, this little woman's voice says, "Are you okay?" And I back up and I look at her and I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. Why?" And she goes, "Because I saw you crying over there. Are you okay?" And I just broke down because I started crying, and I felt so loved in that moment. And I thanked her, and I'm just like, "Thank you so much. Your kindness just means so much to me. Thank you." And she's like, "Are you okay?" And I just said, "I just had a moment. It's my twin daughter's birthday. They're adults, and I'm not with them. They're away in Alberta. They're in another province, so I can't see them. I can't be with them, but I just miss them." And I was just had a moment of sentimentality. Thank you. I'm okay. And I was just thanking God for that moment, because even though, I'm partly to blame why I'm not with my kids, why they're not in my life right now, I just felt like that was a moment where I wasn't judged. And because I've judged myself, I wouldn't let myself off the hook for being a bad mom. And, this woman, no judgment, none whatsoever. And I just that's how I want to be. I want to be the person that offers guidance and kindness and love, because that was offered to me. And it's been offered to me more times than I can ever imagine. And I don't ever want to be complacent to kindness, because kindness is what we need in this world. We need it more now than ever. And we need the compassion. We need to get the love back. And if it's not us, then who? Who's it going to be? So we are here working this out for a reason. You want to say, why me? Why not you? God knows you're made of tough stuff, kiddo. Seriously. God made you tough. Because if it's not you to bring back love by shining the Christ in you in this world, who the hell is going to do it? It's got to be you. It needs to be you. It has to be you. So strengthen your weak knees, like Paul says. And start doing this as you are. Keep going. Keep going. God believes in you. I believe in you. And somewhere you believe in you too. So well done. Well done. So, yeah. Oh, I'm just going over your messages. Yep, you are right, Ted. It's a mind. I hate it. I hate trauma. But you know what? It's a necessary evil. With these videos, maybe you guys don't agree, and you don't have to agree. I'm not. I'm just speaking for myself here. Ooh, deja vu. Woo. I'm learning to embrace trauma. I'm learning to recognize how God does turn everything negative for our gain. He turns a negative into a freaking blessing. And I'm so happy for this, because you know what? The narcissist wants to try to prove that they are stronger than we are. But we are like, okay, it's like this. When you watch a movie where there's the villain, and the villain goes after the weak-willed people, the unarmed citizen, or the child, or the single mother. And the villain chases these people throughout the story, and the person who is being chased or being harassed or hurt by the villain You know, they're running around trying to find modes of areas of safety, trying to find an advocate, trying to go to the police, trying to find, you know, some way to protect themselves, and nothing works. The villain always seems to find a way to persevere and, you know, meet up with the person they're chasing. And it's right at almost at the end of the movie where the person who's being chased, the victim, finally freaking rises up and says, you know what? They're not going to stop. I have to stop running and I have to face this villain. And that's what they do. They face the villain, and it's the chasing and trying to come up with ways to find a way of escape. That's in all of that. That's not weakening the victim. That's strengthening the victim, so that when the victim is strengthened enough, they stop running and they turn and they face their abuser and they say no freaking more. And they rally and they stand up and they succeed over the villain. And that's our lives. That's exactly what's going on with our narcissistic trauma. That's exactly what's going on with the narcissist. They're the villain that gives chase, and in giving us chase, we, you know, we're gaining momentum. We're gaining strength even though we don't know it. And when we've gained enough strength to match their strength, that's when we stop and we say, no freaking more. You shall not pass. You are not going to hurt me anymore. And that's when the narcissist becomes weak. No! You ever notice that? They run. They run away like cowards because they are cowardly. They're insidious. Aw, thanks for the loves. Loves back to you guys. How do we do that? Like that? Like, I don't know. It looks better from my end. Like, it looks better like that. I don't know. I try. Hugs, hearts. So, ooh. I can't say that, Ted. So, yeah. So you guys, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at seeing if there's any comments or questions. So, Ted says, try dating a sociopath. We've been there. We've been there, parenting with these demons. Yeah, we've been there. Yeah, we know it. So, thanks for the loves, guys. But, yeah. Yeah, like, their demons are, you know, yeah. We're learning how to stand against the principalities of this air, of this unseen realm. And, you know, you guys, I hope you look in the mirror every single day of your ever-loving lives. I hope you look in the mirror, and I hope every day you get a chance to say, well done. I hope you get a chance to be proud of yourselves, of the work that you've accomplished and all the healing that you're doing and you have done, and start valuing yourself, because God made you strong and you don't give yourself enough credit, and it's time to. Like, look at yourself in the mirror and just, I know it might feel uncomfortable, but just give yourself the credit that is due to you. You deserve to feel proud. You deserve to honor yourself. You made it. You made it out. Okay, so you might be a little bit bitter. You might be a little bit angry. You might be a little bit sassy and sour. You're allowed to be. But you're not going to stay that way. Because that's not winning. You're on the winning team. You have won. Because Jesus won this war. And so how can you not win? This is strength training. This is training you to make your decision sure. Because when you go to heaven, you're there. It's not like you can rebel in heaven. God, one and done. God had rebellion in heaven a long time ago. He's not having that again. Do you think he liked 1/3 of the angels falling from heaven and turning against him? He's like, no, I'm not having my family do that again. I love my family. I don't want division in heaven ever again. So let's have everybody, have the same chance to choose how they want to serve, who they want to serve. Let's give everybody the chance to decide how they want to live. They can serve the flesh or they can serve the spirit. Let's just put everybody on earth and give them the same opportunity. And so we're here working it out so that when we go to heaven, God's going to say, well done, faithful servant. Well done. Welcome. Come on in. What we're doing now on this earth shows us that we deserve to be in heaven. The enemy doesn't. We deserve. Because we're working this out, not by our works, but with using Jesus's works, using his joy, using his promises to lean against, using his promises and his word of God to strengthen us in our faith for him. As we're using the word of God to call out the enemy, the narcissist. You're a freaking liar. We're not supposed to believe lies. So yeah, you're doing this. Give yourself credit. Hey, Go Dogs, how you doing? Hi, Kale, how are you? Des says, I release all negativity from my body. It is so nice to see all of you here. Hi, Katie, how you doing? Yeah. Oh, you got, can you change your number? Oh, that's, yeah, I think we're all doing pretty good. I think we're doing well. I am. I'm doing well. I'm doing good. Yeah. Hi, Chachi. Nice to see you. How you doing? Joni loves Chachi. Hey, I love the show. Ooh, taking me back. You're old school. Nice to see ya. So, yeah, I just dated myself by calling, Chachi. Who had a crush on Chachi? I think everybody did, right? They were such a cute couple. So, Go Dog says, just got back from the doctor. I'm still the same height as I was in high school. That's awesome. You're not shrinking. You got posture. You probably can put a book on your head. Right? Oh, I got a clippy in my hair. Hang on a sec. I want to see if I can do this. Okay, let's just, I'm being silly, okay? I want to see. There we go. Ta-da! Straight back, chin up, chin level, oops, chin level. And no, I don't have a flat head. See, it's round. I don't have a flat head. So, yeah, cool. So, that's awesome. That's good news. You're healthy. Your bones are healthy. Awesome. So, you picture, Resistor says, I picture them getting hit with a bolt of lightning when I have to think of them. Yeah. Zap. Yeah. My father-in-law got hit by a bolt of lightning. He was on the telephone. And it went through the telephone, and it went through the telephone, through his ear and out his foot. And I think it was like 2 years after that he had a stroke. So, yeah. It was pretty scary getting hit by a bolt of lightning. So, Katie says, I'm in the thick of it right now, but Jesus is getting me through it. Amen. Well, you know, for those of you who are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Shannon Gilmore. Hi. We are here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 10 o'clock in the evening. So we'll be here tonight too if you guys want to hang with us. We're here 1 o'clock and 10 o'clock Eastern time. And yeah, so you are welcome to just, you know, in your time, free time, whenever you've got the time. There's lots of live videos, there's shorts. You can, you know, there's a community space here on this. There's information, you know, little posts on this community page on this channel. So there's a lot on this channel for you guys. I think it's like 600 or more videos. So there's a lot of information on this channel for you guys. We unpack the psychological, and we don't always agree with the psychological. So we use the psychological and the quantum science to, you know, stand up against the Word of God in a non-denominational approach. So we talk about new things. We talk about insightful things as God shows up on this channel and shares insight and hidden knowledge that he wants us to know. So read through the chat, you know, take notes, download these videos if you can, you know, take what you can, throw out the rest, you know, share your comments, suggestions, and your testimonies, your stories with us. We're here to support you as welcome to the family. It's good to see you all. So who am I? I am a peer support mentor. What that is I went through peer support training, learned how to communicate and help peers, people in, you know, of my age group, or people in this started when I was 16. So I was trained by some counselors, school counselors, a group of us, like us students were elected by our peers because the counselors, the school counselors found that kids usually go to other kids for support. They don't go to other adults or other, you know, the school counselors. And so they decided to train us on how to communicate, how to listen, to how to offer support. And so yeah, so I just found that this was up my alley, as this helped me unpack my own trauma, as I was already doing this well before I was 16 years old. As like when I was 9 and 10, kids would ask me, because I was a foster child, and they'd be like, okay, you look different than your sisters. Your sisters have blonde hair, fair skin, poker straight hair. What's the deal, Shannon? So I'd have to say, okay, they're not my family. I'm a foster kid. So then they would ask me, because I wasn't allowed to talk about my family and my trauma and pain in my foster family. So the kids, you know, allowed me to have my say. They gave me a forum to talk. And so that's why I'm here, giving back to you guys, giving you the forum to talk, because I'm a believer in talk therapy. Oh my gosh. Talk and talk and talk and talk and talk until the pain is gone. And sometimes you have to talk for hours, for days, for years, because that trauma is deeply rooted in you. So if you have nobody to talk to, you're welcome here. We're all here. We're here to support you. We're not going to tell you what to do, but we will share. If that's what you need, we will share, we will support and offer you guys love and kindness with no judgment. Seriously, no judgment. Because God doesn't offer us judgment. The judgment is done. So we're here to learn how to apply 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8, unconditional love to ourselves and to other people. Because that's how we're going to heal this world, by bringing love. Love covers all wrongs, right? So it's us who has to do it. We're here. We're doing it. So if it's not us, it's nobody. So we are the elect. We are chosen. Talk, but do not gaslight yourself. That's right. You know, you got to really listen to the things you're saying. Don't just talk to hear your own voice, but talk to really like, oh, why did I say that? Because oftentimes, here's a hint. Oftentimes when you're talking to yourself and you say something that really moves your soul, and you may not think anything of it, but the moment you start feeling an emotional response and you start tearing up, or you feel uncomfortable, or you feel like you're getting some sort of emotional feedback from what you just said, that's your cue to stop and reflect and talk about that, what you just said, that is evoking these emotions out of you. That's the pain point right there. And that's where you want to hone in on. And then you ask yourself questions. Okay, I noticed that, okay, when I talk about, I'll just give a light well, it's not light, but my dog Muggs, he was like a son to me. And he's been dead 7 years, and I still have a hard time talking about him. Tears are starting to well up. So there's my pain point. I have to learn to let him go, and I can't. I refuse. I can't let him go. So that's what it looks like. You see? That's what it looks like. And so you stop and you say, okay, so let's talk about some good things about Muggs. Well, Muggs offered me support. Muggs was unconditional in his love for me. And that dog protected me from bears, from Bigfoot. He gave me comfort when I felt alone. He went on walks with me, protected me from wolves. He was just a wonderful silent companion. And he was there when I needed him, and even when I didn't think I needed him, he was there. He knew my needs before I even knew what I needed. And, that dog, Muggs, he almost died, and I'd pray over him, and God would heal him immediately. It was like that dog was heaven sent. And see, so I'm talking about good things, there's no emotion. But when I talk about the loss of losing Muggs, that's where the emotion is. So if I were to counsel myself, I would after talking about the good things of Muggs, then I'd be like, okay, well, let's focus on the loss of Muggs. Why is this hitting you so hard? Because he was family to me. And I know what it's like to lose family. I never got to mourn the loss of my mom and my dad and my sister and my cousins and my aunts and uncles. I was just uprooted, and into foster care I went. And then when my mom sobered up and she was able to, take care of me, I was uprooted from my foster family, and I went into her care, and the cycle of abuse would, cycle through all over again. So losing Muggs, he was my anchor point. And I hate losing. I hate losing people I love. And I don't know how to, I didn't know how to deal with it properly. I just was taught to shove it under the rug. So, slowly and surely, see me talking about it right now to you guys. I'm not showing I feel the emotion, but I'm not showing it. Like, I'm not feeling like I want to break down and cry. So thank you. See, that's how self-help therapy works. So take that example and go with it. Look at yourself in the mirror if you have to see how what you look like when you begin to get emotional, because when you can't see yourself, you kind of ignore yourself and you just kind of, your squished face, you don't see the little, tears, your eyes get glossy and start to form tears and you just ignore that. Well, look at yourself, to face yourself and challenge yourself and say, okay, why are you feeling that? Why are you feeling like you need to cry? And just be gentle and loving with yourself. It works. I feel better already. So thank you. Hugs to you guys. Thank you so much. So, yeah. Sophia, you're my sister too. You guys are family. So thank you. Yeah. So Paulo, hi. Nice to see you. I'm working full time. My child is 4.5, maybe on spectrum. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So okay. I'm having big problems in a 10-year relationship. This Ethiopian man who grew up in poverty and makes 170,000 K a year, is that right? Won't buy me and my son food. Oh, yeah, I can relate to that. You never talk to others. I don't know how to stop this relationship. Okay, so you're finally, excuse me, are you financially dependent on this person, obviously? Or are you, like, is there a way that you can work from home? Good morning, Anatoly. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? So, found out mom was narcissist and her family when I became pregnant. Okay. VK says self-help therapy. Okay, well, you don't have to be convinced, girl. But self-reflection is self-therapy and it works. It's healthy to reflect on yourself. It's healthy to get to know yourself and face the scary points of yourself, to make friends with yourself. You can't be kind to yourself if you don't know yourself. And God wants us to know ourselves, because we have to love ourselves like we love our neighbor. Well, I'm not going to judge Ted, So, self-healing is finding this channel. Thank you, Resistor. Your family were millionaires. Wow. No mocking or criticism on my end. Oh, no, I wasn't. I'm not calling you out, VK. After talking to you, I love your personality. You are so cool. You are just such good peeps. You're good people's, VK. I love your attitude. You're just like got a no nonsense attitude. I love it. So you be you. I'm no negativity here on my part. So, yeah, no, we're cool. We're always going to be cool, VK. Yeah, always. I'm your sister in arms. I got you. It's all right. It's all cool. So, yeah. Apollo, you're from Seattle. Oh, the rainy state. It rains a lot there, eh? VK, you're just weird. Welcome to the club. I'm weird too. I'm a geek. So, Apollo, you are welcome to email if you want. You are welcome to email me. And we can talk privately if you need to. I'm just going to put my email in the chat for you guys if you want to email me. If any of you guys want to email me and talk, you are welcome to. There we go. Excuse me. Shannon Gilmore at protonmail.com. All correspondence is confidential. Okay? So, you moved to Dallas after the pandemic. Wow. Wow, that's cool. You're in Washington State. Seattle is falling apart at the moment. Yeah, it's been falling. Resistor, yeah. I had a friend who lived in Washington and she moved to Alaska to be with her family, excuse me, and this was just as COVID hit. And it was scary at that time, at the very beginning of COVID. It was scary. I was just like, thank God you got out of there. Yeah, it was pretty scary. So how is Dallas treating you? So, yeah, when you were pregnant, yeah. You don't know? Do you like Dallas? Good. Glad it's normal. Normal is good. That's what we want to hear. Normal is good. Oh, 1995 here. So it's laid back, easy going. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I like that. So are you in the city, or are you just like, you know, a small town country living, you know? Hi everyone. I'm just looking at the numbers. Hi everyone. How you doing? It's nice to see you. Welcome. Outside Dallas, in the burbs. Yeah. Oh, cool. So what do you guys got going on this afternoon? Sophia says, don't forget to thumbs up the video, family. Oh, thank you. Yeah, in this video, just to recap, we talked about Munchausen syndrome and the association with narcissism. There's not a, well, I wouldn't say there are correlations, but science hasn't, you know, has made the distinction that there are similarities between Munchausen syndrome by proxy or Munchausen syndrome and narcissism, but you know, you can be a narcissist and have Munchausen, or you can be have Munchausen and narcissism, but narcissism doesn't necessarily encompass Munchausen. So yeah, so I would have to say that Munchausen syndrome is probably another underlying disorder underneath narcissism. And once you treat the Munchausen, you can treat, or the narcissism becomes a little bit treatable better. I should say managed better. So yeah, so just look into it, do your research, and if you notice something, you see something, say something. Talk to your family doctor, because Munchausen syndrome by proxy is usually seen in women. So, and what that is mothers hurt their kids. They create medical emergencies with their kids in order to gain attention from the medical community or other people. It's pretty sick and twisted. So, oh, you're gonna do tattoos, more tattoos with Rob, hair treatments, oleoplexes. You going to another movie? Is that like a Cineplex? You're going to, yeah, Cineplex. You're gonna go to a movie? What movie are you gonna see, VK? Yeah. Oh, Olaplex. I've never heard of that. So Olaplex is a hair bonding treatment. Oh, okay. You're going to the movies too, Katie says, with my daughter. Oh, nice. Which movie are you going to go see? Mufasa. I want to see that movie. So, well, Apollo Star, I would have to say, if you can make plans to leave, you know, start planning. Start planning to leave. Do what you can. Lean on healthy family if you have family and friends. Talk to a therapist if you can. If you have a job, or if you can find a job, or you can find some work at home, you know, I know people who are doing crafting. I know this one woman, she crochets and does wonderful crochet work, and she sells that. And then I know somebody else who makes those patchwork quilts and sells those. So, you know, it's just a matter of finding what you're good at, and going from there if you can. So what is hair bonding? Is that like extensions or something? I'm out of the loop. I have no idea. So VK says crafting is a great way to find peace and make a little money. Absolutely. VK is talented. Very talented. I've called shelters so much. You're not brave enough. Well, you know, what you can do is just continue to research. Continue to research the symptoms of narcissism, but also continue to research on, and this is for Apollo or for anybody, if you're looking for a way out but you're not yet in that state of mind to do so, continue to research, continue to, you know, seek out online platforms for information. But in your research, don't just look at what the narcissist does. Research your symptoms of abuse, because you are most likely experiencing symptoms, especially when the narcissist creates in us, you know, they take away our confidence, and they create in us a dependence where we believe that we can't manage life on our own. And we become vulnerable financially, emotionally, you know, so research your symptoms and do what you can to work that out, because there's going to be Stockholm syndrome. There's going to be attachment deficits. There's going to be infantile regression syndrome. There's going to be the fawning. There's going to be the flight and freeze responses. There's going to be PTSD. There's going to be a myriad of different symptoms that you express, the triggering, the fear of being controlled. Yeah, so research those things, your symptoms of abuse, and take a look at them. Yeah, you're neglected. Yes. Well, now it's time to stop neglecting yourself. You take all of that love that you have for the narcissist, and you start giving it to yourself. And start doing things for yourself, taking yourself on walks, taking yourself on, maybe just, treat yourself to a tea or a coffee, a specialty tea. If you have a couple of bucks, $5, $10, you know what? Spend it on a nice coffee for yourself or something. Watch a movie or watch a YouTube and discover if you like crafting or not. Maybe you don't like crocheting, but you like painting or you like drawing. Just maybe you like singing. Maybe you play a musical instrument. Maybe you like songwriting or poetry or writing. Start spending time with yourself. And when you do this, you'll find that these creative outlets allow you to creatively release the pain in a way where you're unburdening yourself or purging yourself of these feelings. So, yeah. Yeah, this world is hard. What's your master's degree? Yeah. Ted, you're scared of what? Oh, I see. I used to listen to Patsy Cline. She's one of my favorite singers. That woman was abused, and her songs reflect that. And when you start singing them from a place of healing, you can really see how she was, as we all are, we become emotionally dependent on somebody who can't give us the emotions that we need, because it is natural to chase. When somebody, this is the person who doesn't care in the relationship holds all the power, holds all the control. And when someone starts pulling away, that's when we begin to chase, and that's when the narcissist can become very violent, because for many reasons, they feel they can't do emotions. They just feel smothered. They feel controlled, and when they become violent, that kind of puts us at arm's length and causes us to stay back, and that's what they need. It gives, when they become violent, when we start giving chase, it puts us in our place in the way of keeping us at a distance where they want us. So, yeah. Yeah. Hey Puma, how you doing? We all do chase, Ted. That's part of it. Ted, do you know Apollo? If you don't like what somebody says, you don't have to answer them. But we're not, when we're on here on this chat, it's really hard to tell the full and complete story. But we give everybody the chance to share their story as much as they can and what they're comfortable with. So there's no pressure here. So, we're not, yeah, we're not gonna bully people here and try to, make ourselves better than other people. We're all equal here, and we all have, that we give everybody the opportunity to share or not share, and you share, and that's everybody should know that we don't know everybody's story. We're only seeing half of the story, and we're seeing it in pieces. That's the beauty of chat. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Sophia. I agree, VK. Yeah, an electric fence. Yep, if they could get away with that, they would. Yep. Have you guys ever have you ever touched an electric fence? It doesn't feel good. Have you ever watched the people who had that electric barking collar and they put that around their necks and the guys, "Ah!" That's funny. It's funny as heck, but it's not funny. It's freaking painful. So, you're against financial exploitation. I laugh at things others may not find funny, so I'm a little weird too. It comes with the territory of being traumatized. Yeah. It's sometimes it's just out of nervousness, we give the wrong response, and you know it just it's hard to process the pain if we don't laugh. So, morbid dark humor. Yeah. So, how do I get the neck device, Shannon? Like a taser store or animal? I'm not telling you. Girl, I wouldn't want that on my worst enemy. That freaking hurts. It freaking hurts. I told my friend because her husband was cheating, and so she's like, how do I stop him from cheating? And so I told her to get a certain kind of essential oil, and she was going to the store to get it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, God, no, please, I'm so sorry. I didn't think she would take me up on it. And I felt so bad, like she almost bought this oil because she was gonna, like I said, oh, put this oil in his underpants and that'll pay him back, that'll get him hopping. And No, no, revenge is for God. No, don't do that. Don't do stuff like that. So, yeah. You touched one while feeding a few horses. I got zapped. Oh, yeah. Woo, what a feeling, eh? Woo, woo. Yeehaw. Yep. So, Lorena Bobbitt took care of the cheating. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Haven't heard that name in a long time. Wow. Yeah. No, I think it's really beneficial, VK, that women do take self-defense courses. Yep. And only defend yourself when you need it. Yeah. Well, guys, it is 20 to 3. So I think I'm going to say so long, farewell. I hope we see each other again. Okay, I'm improvising. But I just want to say before we sign off, thank you everyone for your input and supporting each other. And thank you for being kind and being loving towards each other on this chat. And I hope to see you guys here at 10 o'clock tonight. And you guys are welcome to continue this conversation on our Telegram channel. You are welcome to email me. My email is in the chat. You can email me for your Telegram channel invite. That's a group channel where we all group together and we just talk about things that YouTube won't let us talk about. Thanks for the loves. And thank you for, just supporting me on this channel. This is what I do. So, Munchausen syndrome, that's what we talked about today. And I really have been, I was given some food for thought today. Like, I really, things that happen between me and my foster mother, they make sense. They're making sense. And I'm just going to say that. So thank you everyone for that, because this has been extremely helpful, because I've never thought of it this way before. And which gives a better, not that it was a good thing, but a better perspective as far as my healing is concerned, where I'm able to let it go now. So God bless you too, Ted. Thank you so much. And, I couldn't have this channel without you guys. I couldn't be healing and working this out with you guys. So, I really want to encourage you guys to give yourselves a break. Go do something nice for yourself today. Go support yourself and start supporting yourself every single day by doing something nice. Go tell yourself something beautiful in the mirror that you've never heard yourself say to you before, or start telling yourselves all the beautiful things that you want to hear from your significant other. Start loving yourself, okay? So, I love you guys, and I want to see you here tonight, and I want to see you guys shine. So go make your day great. I'm gonna go get some lunch. I love you guys. Mwah. Be blessed. See you later. See you soon. Enjoy your afternoon. Bye. Bye-bye.